can't go 82-0 if you don't start 1-0. That's what the Maple Leafs did with the win on Wednesday night against the Montreal Canadiens in their home opener, and they look to keep the ball rolling in Game 2 of the season as they take on the Detroit Red Wings. Hoping to stay undefeated. In today's pregame video, we're going to take a look at what we've got for the lines. Maybe a bit of a surprising scratch for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this game here tonight. The goaltending matchup, what you've got for the power play, my expectations, as well as my best bet, a presentation of Bet365. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into tonight's lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs, thanks to our friends at Daily Faceoff. Looking over at what we've got, Craig Berube keeping the lineup the same as Wednesday night. So just a quick overview of what we've got here before I get my expectations from these lineups, as well as my thoughts on who's out of the lineup. Line 1, you've got Matthew Knies, Auston Matthews, Matias, Maccelli. They remain together. Now, we did see the other day in Game 1, as it came down to it in the third period with the Maple Leafs holding a lead, you did see Calle Jarnkrok bump up to that first line. I wonder if part of it is not yet Craig Berube developing that trust in Matias Maccelli and saying, hey, you're the guy who can go out there, play with this first line, and be in a shutdown role when it comes to holding a lead. You know, maybe it is just hemmed in the defensive zone. If it's trying to get pucks out in transition, he's not fully bought in what Matias Maccelli can offer you on your own side of center ice. So we did see a little bit of a switch there. Now, mind you, part of that was Calle Jarnkrok was looking really good in Wednesday night's game, and that first line in general just was not firing on all cylinders. So maybe part of it was looking for just a little bit of a spark late in the game, but something to keep a note of. You go down to your second line, Bobby McMann, John Tavares, William Nylander. Look, two things. One, Bobby McMann, I thought looked really good on Wednesday. He looked fast. He looked explosive. He scores. Gets on the board. You know, Bobby McMann, I just thought was kind of all over it and started to pick up where he was at after he was scratched last season in the home opener, and then leading up to February where he looked really good before he fell off a cliff. So if he can keep that going, I think that Bobby McMann can be a big contributor on the second line. On the other side, because I have no notes on JT, I thought he was fine, like no issues there. William Nylander, who ultimately ends up racking up a bunch of points in Game 1, did not look very good. And I think he knows that himself. He kind of looked like he was out for a Sunday skate. Looked like a continuation of the preseason. You want to see him start to ramp that up and maybe take it a little bit more seriously, develop some intensity, and kind of have that takeover mode that he's got the ability to do. Let's see it a little bit here, Willie. Let's see the guy who scores 45, 50 goals a season. Let's bring that out for 82. Why not? Let's see if that can start here tonight against the Red Wings. Third line, sticking together, Dakota Joshua, Max Domi, Nick Robertson, and then the fourth line, Steven Lorentz, Nick Waugh, and Calle Jarnkrok. And, I mean, obviously, we're all aware this is mostly out of necessity. Scott Laughton coming back will kind of reinvigorate, reshape, reform, however you want to word it, the bottom six. He comes in, he slides into your 4C, Nick Waugh goes up to your 3C, Domi goes out of the center position to your third line right wing, and then somebody like Jarnkrok or Robertson is fighting for a job to stay in the lineup, and at this point, just based on trust factor, I think it's probably Calle Jarnkrok who does stay in. Now, as we've gone through lines 1 through 4, there is one notable name missing who I believe Rosie thought was going to be in here, and it feels like a lot of Leafs Nation thought was going to be in the lineup tonight. Easton Cowan remains with the Maple Leafs, but not in the lineup. Now, I am a little bit surprised because the Marlies played their first game of the season on Friday night. That would be October 10th, so their season kicks off. You know, they're going to have some games that start piling up over the weekend, and as you go throughout the rest of this season, if Easton Cowan is up with the Maple Leafs and not playing games, you're just missing out on development opportunity for the guy. Now, I don't know if this is some like secret plan and Brandon Pridham and Tree Living and the Leafs brass is just a billion times smarter than all of us even realize that they are, and there's some salary cap ramifications that I just don't even understand that are taking place. But from a sheer development point, I would like to see Easton Cowan playing. And I heard Jeff O'Neill talk about it the other day, so I'm not going to steal the idea as my own, but he brought up the idea of, hey, if Matias Maccelli isn't going on that first line, throw Easton Cowan out there. Give him a shot with Matthews and Knies to see what he can build, what he can develop with them chemistry-wise. He does have a little bit of bite to his game. He's not afraid. He'll go into the corners. He'll mix it up. And he's a really skilled player. So maybe that's something that would work alongside them. But he doesn't find his way into the lineup tonight. And I will say, if this is going to be something that continues, if this is a trend going forward where you're looking at Easton Cowan, who's constantly sitting there as the 13th forward and he's skating, but he's not playing, it is a complete mismanagement of assets. You don't want this guy hanging around the big club and not playing in games. You don't want him going in on the fourth line, not being trusted, playing 6 to 8 minutes a night, and just not getting NHL experience to the fullest. I'd much rather see him go to the Marlies, play games, be on the first line, be on the power play, be an important piece, and kind of grow the confidence, and also start to understand and adapt to the maturity of playing a professional league, playing at a professional level against grown men. You know, as good as the OHL and the CHL is, Easton Cowan is still playing against guys who are like 21 years old at the oldest. You go into the AHL, you're playing against guys who got wives and kids and own houses, and they're just taking the next level of their lives. They've got that grown man strength and weight behind them that he's not used to playing against. I want to see him get that opportunity and kind of start to grow comfortable with it before he comes back up, if he's not playing here with the Maple Leafs. That's the big caveat. But Easton Cowan does not jump into the lineup for the Maple Leafs here tonight. And for me, I don't think it's necessarily a mistake that he's not playing, but I think it would be a mistake if he's not playing and he's also just with the Leafs and not with the Marlies. He doesn't have to go through waivers. You can send the guy to the AHL pretty easily. It's not a difficult thing to do. So that's the only question mark that I have. Now, go down to our defense. I talked about it in game 1, game preview. As far as things go with how it's all sorted out with Rielly and Carlo as your first pair, McCabe, Tanev, number 2, Ekman-Larsson and Simon Benoit, number 3. No issues with the construction, no issues with who's out there, no issues with who's together, none of that. I like all of that. The big question mark for me was going to be Morgan Rielly. What does he bring? Is he different? Is he better? I was worried after last season. I was a little bit worried after the preseason. He looked really good in game 1. I think Brandon Carlo was just kind of quiet alongside of him, and that's kind of what you're looking for out of that pair. Now, a note coming out of game 1, the other guys I think have to be better. Rosie said it on the After Dark show on Wednesday night. Morgan Rielly was the best of the 6 defensemen, and I think that's fine. He can be. He's the highest paid defenseman of the 6 defensemen. It's not an issue if Morgan Rielly's your best defenseman, but I think guys like OEL and Simon Benoit didn't have the greatest games. I think Carlo even has another step that he can take. And then when you look at McCabe and Tanev, I thought they were fine. I don't think they were unbelievable. I don't think they were bad, but knowing those guys and seeing the body of work that they put together through 82 games last season, I know they have another gear as well. It's early in the season. I'm not smashing panic button. I'm not saying what the hell are these guys doing. We've got a problem, but I think they could all be better. And I think that's where you kind of sit out with your forward and defensive pairs. Now, quick note on what we've got for the power plays here tonight. Power play 1 remains Matthew Knies, John Tavares, William Nylander, and Auston Matthews as your forwards, and Morgan Rielly quarterbacking back there, getting his number 1 spot on the power play back to him as Mitch Marner is off to Vegas. Now your second unit, Bobby McMann, Max Domi, Nick Robertson, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Matias Maccelli remain together for your second unit. We all know they're not going to see much time. Your starting goaltender for tonight, Anthony Stolarz, 1-0 on the season. We know that he's got his big contract in his back pocket now. He's got some security. He knows he's going to be here with the Maple Leafs for a long time. I think everybody's happy about that. And man, did he ever start off the season well. He looked good in preseason. He looked really good in game 1. We'll see how he handles the workload when he starts pushing past 35, 40, 45 games if you get there, especially not knowing how long Joseph Woll is going to be out. But Anthony Stolarz looked real solid in game 1, and hopefully he can continue that here tonight against the Red Wings in game 2 of the season. Now, quickly here, as we are about to get to our best bets, just a reminder, Today's show, as always, is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION. That's NATION, code NATION, NATION at Bet365. You must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Let's get over to our best bet, courtesy of our friends at Bet365. And quick note here, we are 1-1 on the season record-wise, but we are up this year, $60 profit. We had $20 on Nick Waugh in game 1 to score a goal at plus 700. That one loses, but that last minute meaningless goal by William Nylander puts us in the positive. We had $50, a half unit on Nylander at plus 160 to profit us $80. So lose the 20, profit the 80. We are up 60 on the season, and that will lead us to our best bet here tonight. I jump on over to our friends at Bet365, taking a look at what they've got for tonight's game. Leafs favored minus 150, the Red Wings plus 125, but that's not where I'm looking. If people have been following along for a long time, they know I'm going to the player props, I'm sticking at the top, and I'm going to run it back with something I had the other day. I don't even have to click the show more tab. I'm going right there. William Nylander, anytime goal, plus 165. Look, I think Detroit is a worse team than Montreal, personally. We're getting better odds on William Nylander. We saw him and Berube kind of exchange some words. We know the relationship those guys have, where Berube can kind of kick him in the ass a little bit and say, get it together. Willie got his cookies, but I don't think he looked that good the other day. I think he's got another gear to get to, and I kind of feel like he'll start to amp it up. It's Saturday night. It's a big game. It's 7 p.m. You know, you're getting the primetime spotlight. William Nylander, he delivers in these moments. He steps up and he shows what he's got here. Anytime goal, plus 165 on William Nylander. We're going a half unit, $50, profits you 82.5 for tonight's game. That is our best bet. Hopefully we can continue off of the William Nylander anytime goal we had the other day. But for those of you who are going to be looking for a game recap following tonight's Leafs-Red Wings game number 2 of the season, you can find it right here on the Leaf Station 401 YouTube channel. So make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe here to the channel. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know in the comments. What do you think about the lineup decisions? What do you think about no Easton Cowan and who's playing with who? I want to hear it all. I also want to hear your predictions for tonight's game. Thanks everybody for watching. Look forward to seeing you back here following the game for another edition of Leafs Nation After Dark around 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, enjoy the game and keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.